Hey everyone, some of you weren't able to make it to the information night for our discipleship training last week, so I thought I'd throw together a video for you to help you know what Immersed Discipleship training is all about. This discipleship training is for people who feel like there's something more. There's some sort of significance or something big that I'm supposed to do. There's a calling on my life, but I don't know how to get there. I don't want to waste my life, but I don't feel like I have the tools. I don't feel like I have the vision. I don't feel like I have the time to do what it takes to pursue the things that I think are out there for me. A lot of people end up feeling like a failure, or that they're a disappointment to God, and they feel frustrated that they're not living the God-inspired lives that I think is available to them. And some people are just terrified that they're going to wake up one day having wasted their life. The crazy thing is, though, that right now we are all significant. Most people go out there trying to gain significance by doing something significant. Like their significance is out there somewhere. I need to go find it. I need to go lasso it and bring it in so that I can become significant by achieving it somehow. So we do small groups, we do ministry teams, we do mission trips, we do 24-hour prayer rooms, we do the sermons, we do the books, we do the schools, we do the Bible memory. We do all those things, and then we still feel like there's something more that's evading us. Like, how do I get a hold of this more? So at Immerse, we know that significance is an internal issue more than an external one. You're not going to find your significance out there by doing things. Significance has more to do with who you are than what you do. And we know how to navigate the inner world and the inner dialogue to guide you towards healing and towards establishing a solid identity and towards preparing and equipping you to walk into the really big and amazing and beautiful things that God has for you. So we do that in a couple different ways. One, we're going to examine your deep beliefs. These are not the things that you're supposed to believe. The things that you're supposed to believe are often not the things that you actually believe. And in church culture, we can often regurgitate the correct answers as to, I believe, these doctrinal pieces. That's not what we're going to look at. We're going to look at the reality of your heart, the reality of your belief system, and a lot of that is going to be looking back into your past, into your story, what kind of beliefs were established along the way. The second thing that we're going to do is we're going to walk towards healing and the resolution of pain. So the unresolved pain of your past is still writing your future for you. So we want people to gain ownership of their story so that they can write their own ending, right? And then number 3 is that we want people to be seen. Learning how to be vulnerable, one, you have to know your own heart in order to bring your heart to the conversation. We want people to be able to show up as they are, not as they ought to be. We want people to experience unconditional love. We want people to connect with God and connect with each other according to the reality of where they are. So here's my advice to you. Don't do big things to try to gain significance. Instead, discover your significance, heal, be seen, be loved, and then go out into the world and do all those big things from a place of wholeness and a place of contentment. If you keep pursuing significance as something that's out there that you need to achieve, you will burn out eventually. And I think a lot of us have experienced that. And a lot of people that have been coming to the Immersed Discipleship training are the people who've been trying all those things, and they're at a point of burnout. And they want to find a different way of doing this. So this program is designed to walk with you through, honestly, just really messy processes. We want people to establish a sense of identity and a deep sense of significance, heal unresolved pain, find freedom and tools to launch into the mission that God has put in your heart. And here's our commitment to you if you are going to join our discipleship training. Number 1, you get to have a voice. We are here to give you a voice. Your story needs to be told. Your perspective needs to be heard. So that means that you never have to agree with us. And what you conclude about a particular topic is less important than how you engage the topic. We will celebrate you no matter where you are in the process. We do not require you to conform to a certain pattern or a certain doctrine or a certain way of doing things. You are worth celebrating, and your process is worth celebrating no matter where you're at. And we are committed to a long-term process with people. It's a 7-month program from October to April. There's 2 different phases. Each phase costs $100. But honestly, we want to see people for more like 2 years. Would you give yourself a 2-year process to heal and to grow slowly? So we're committed to you long term if you're willing to stick around. And then the last thing that we're committed to is that we are committed to going deeper with a few people rather than going shallow with many people. I mentioned the 2 phases. Phase 1, starting October 10th, that's our launch day. Through the end of the year, we're going to be focusing on identity. And we are going to be doing actual work towards establishing a healthy identity. So this is not just going to be conceptual. We're not just going to talk and discuss things. We're going to be looking into our own story. Where did my sense of worth come from? Where did my identity come from? How was that built? Who built that in my life? Who do I need to forgive? How do I forgive? So this is a program that will require a lot of actual work on your part. Starting in January, phase 2, we have 3 different tracks. 1 on the prophetic culture, 1 on me, the church, and God, and 1 on the heart and healing. So come January, you're going to be able to choose your track. We're still going to have community time together, and then you will split off into these different groups to discuss according to the topic that appeals to you, where you're at. That's what you need to know. Wednesday nights, 6:30 to 7, there'll be snacks. 7 o'clock we officially start. Each evening will include a story time. Somebody will be telling a portion of their story. Listening to God. We'll have worship. We'll have teaching and discussion time. We'll have lab work where you're going to be doing some work in your own story and your own healing process. And then we're going to have prayer groups at the end of the night. Also, there is an application. The application is accessible on our website, immersediscipleship.com. The application is due on September 26th, so make sure you hop on there and fill out your application as soon as possible. So if you are in this place where you want the something more, and you've been struggling to figure out how to attain that, I'd really encourage you to come join us, join the conversation that we're having. So many people have found an amount of freedom and healing through this training. The most common feedback we get from people is that Immerse has ruined my life in the best way possible. So if you want your life ruined, come join us. We'd love to have your presence. We'd love to have your voice. For those of you who are coming back from last year, there's a few things that we've been working on and improving. So the first thing is, with the teaching and discussion time, we are going to be doing more, we're going to have more voices heard. We will be doing co-teaching alongside other people. So I will be interviewing people who have been around for a while, drawing out their voice, drawing out their process and their journey with the different topics, and they will be sharing what the Holy Spirit has taught them through the process. I mentioned it earlier, but we're going to be doing more lab work. So last year, if you were here, it was more conversational and discussion-based, really good, really powerful. This year, we're going to be focusing more on doing the deep heart and healing work. One of the things that we will encourage people to do is that outside of Wednesday nights, we will encourage you to be meeting with people that you feel safe and comfortable with to continue to pray through the things that are brought up on Wednesday nights. So we are doing an additional ask of people who are involved in Wednesday nights, not just in Wednesday night attendance, but also in connecting outside of that to do the deeper healing work with each other. We have improved structures in place this year. So we have a teaching outline that's established well in advance, so you can have a heads up. We have prayer group leaders that are prearranged, and not only are those prayer group leaders assigned to groups, they're well equipped to lead those groups into prayer and intimacy with God. Another new thing for this year is that we have 2 separate phases. Each of those phases costs $100, and if you are returning and you've been through summer training before, you're welcome to join in phase 2 if you've already gone through the Identity Tower a number of times in the past. I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions. If we haven't connected yet, let's go out for coffee. I'd love to talk through all these different elements and get you well equipped for starting out. Just as a reminder, applications due September 26th, and we launch October 10th. Looking forward to it. Hope to see you there.